ass, but let me get them quesadillas on the go, bro. I didn't know you was cooking, or we probably came in a little later. That's fucked up.
As more Democrats who are moderates try to hit the brakes before their party takes a hard left turn fully into socialism.
Party may have to splinter. People always talk about the end of the two-party system. We might see it pretty close to the end of it.
Democrats are going off the rails. They're not even focused. What matters to people is affordability. And Democrats right now are focused on two things. They're focused on anti-Semitism and socialism.
If less than 40...
You know what's so crazy, though, guys? I mean, let's go back to what Zoran Mamdani really said here. Because except for that last part, which was a bit goofy, what he said. But I'm going to be real with you, what he said wasn't wrong. There was some things that he said wasn't wrong, and that's why he low-key kind of got the people's voice, at least on the left.
Focusing on what he says.
What do we see? We see a city of contradictions within a nation of contradictions. We see the wealthiest country in the...
I mean, you got a good point. Bro, what was it? New York City, the city of opportunities, but everybody's living hand to mouth. And only select few really see opportunity. I mean, but it's the city of opportunity.
History of the world. One where children go to sleep hungry, while the world's first trillionaire hungers for more.
I mean, dog. I mean, true. We got what, 100 billion? We got people worth $100 billion plus $1 trillion, and yet we got veterans starving in the street or can't get no medical attention. We got children starving in the street and can't get no medical attention either. And this is the most prosperous country in the world. I mean, that's a contradiction to me as well. I'm not gonna lie. And I understand we have our problems. I understand we could fix this, but this does need to be addressed. Don't mean we need to go full on socialist for it, though. Like, come on.
We see monopolies that dominate every industry and oligarchs who buy elections.
Yeah, I mean, bro, we do have monopolies in this bitch. We do have monopolies. Look at Meta. That's a monopoly right there. So, yes, we do have monopolies. It's like a fake free market that we're living in that's controlled by oligarchies. I mean, bro, especially when it comes to food, like entertainment, it's all owned by a select few businesses, select few like business conglomerates. So, really? Like, he's not lying. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, yeah, he's a socialist, but he's cooking right now.
We see masked agents terrorizing our streets, eating...
Okay, except for the ice part. I don't agree with him on that.
Food cooked by our undocumented neighbors before spiriting them away in unmarked vans.
This as more Democrats who are moderates try to hit
That's what kills me, is that how the conservatives just can't take that on. It's like, bro, okay, he's right. Let's talk about the stock market. Let's talk about these monopolies. Yes, let's talk about the fact that, we do got a whole rich walking around, but we got a way more poor walking around. Less people in the middle class. Let's talk about that. Instead of just sitting there trying to call everybody who mentions it a socialist. Like, are you serious? Or much worse, a communist. Just because they're speaking on the problems that the normal average American is speaking on, it kind of sounds like you're gaslighting us. Kind of sounds like, oh, if you speak on the affordability problem, you're a socialist. No, you're just speaking on the problems that every American across the board is speaking on. Like, red or blue state, don't matter. We're all sitting here looking at the groceries like, what the fuck? But all right, then, back to it.
Breaks before their party takes a hard left turn fully into socialism.
Party may have to splinter. People always talk about the end of the two-party system. We might see it pretty close to the end of it.
Democrats are going off the rails. They're not even focused. What matters to people is affordability. And Democrats right now are focused on two things. They're focused on anti-Semitism and socialism.
If less than 45% of Democrats are even proud to be an American, and that's why they are nominating people that are an avowed communist and have deeply anti-views. So for me, that's distressing to me as a Democrat.
Jesse, Mayor Mamdani gets a lot of media attention because of the theater that he's able to produce, like the social media, the scene. We talk about advance work, right? Like if you want to try to upstage Trump on America 215, he's going to Mount Rushmore and he's having fireworks, and you're sitting at a desk and nobody knows that that's George Washington's desk. I mean, talk about it. It seems like a little awkward to just have people standing behind you that aren't really sure why they're there.
Yeah, this speech did not live up to the hype. This guy built this thing up like this was the State of the Union on July 4th. And he bombed. I mean, this thing was so boring, so tedious. And then like you said, the lighting was dark.
Yep.
There was no color. You had immigrants standing around them.
I mean, Jesse, your lighting, his lighting is looking about the same right now. I just want to let y'all know this, okay? Like, come on, bro. Speak to the substance of what this man was saying. Speak to the substance of what he was saying, bro. He's not lying in those first 3 points. Like, let's be honest. All right, ICE was bullshit, but let's be real though. He was touching on a lot of good points when it comes to contradictory, us having a trillionaire, but having a whole lot of poor people, and of course monopolies, basically AKA crony capitalism that we allow to happen. By the way, like, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. He's a real one for addressing that, and the fact that y'all won't even tackle that subject says a lot.
Like this, like
with a tiny little flag.
It's like, oh my God. He could have been so much better because the guy's talented. He has a decent personality, but this thing did not deliver. I felt nothing.
Yep.
You know, at least when other politicians talk, I feel hate.
I'm gonna be real with you, dog. I'm be real with you, Jesse. Is like a lot of people aren't running this propaganda like you are. A lot of people heard what Mamdani said, and they're being a bit more reasonable. It's like, look, I'm not a socialist. I don't agree with a lot of Mamdani's policies, but what he said is facts, except for the ICE part. But what he said, other than that, was facts. And that is a lot of concern that Americans have across the board. And we see it, and it's in our face, left or the right. We both see what Mamdani's talking about. So to sit there and say that you didn't feel nothing or you didn't get anything from it, I mean, bro, it just shows like, bro, you're definitely over there looking at us from the ivory tower, and you're definitely out of touch here. If you can't understand what Mamdani's saying, you are out of touch.
I feel happiness. I felt empty inside. Maybe it's because he's so young and has literally done nothing before with his life.
And somebody said, "Why is the desk backwards?" As soon as I seen it, I just noticed. I was like, "Yo, that desk is backwards. What the fuck?" All right, that was funny.
Didn't feel like there was anything behind it. Kind of felt like he was the first Muslim mayor of New York reading a speech written for the first black president. He was trying to be Barack Obama. But Barack Obama, you know, he'd say that stuff was wrong with the country, but then he'd bring you up and then take you higher. This guy brought you here and then took you down. Aesthetically, you're looking at a guy with a beard sitting still like this, surrounded by immigrants, and he's saying, "You're racist and we're coming for you." That's how a lot of America saw that speech. So I got to say something, Mamdani. Calm down, man.
What? Wait, hold on. Maybe I need to go look at that entire speech then. Where did that come into the play? I'm confused because I swear to God, bro, these guys have been low-key, like, trying to paint Zoran Mamdani as something that he's not. And I just don't get it. Or it was like 13 minutes? Bro, y'all make me feel like I gotta listen to it at this point because I don't know. I can't trust what Jesse's saying on this point. Should we watch the Zoran Mamdani speech? Should we watch our favorite socialists?
Donnie, all right, relax. No one's afraid of you. We don't like communism, and we're gonna beat it.
One of my
all right, fine. I gotta watch it. Now I gotta watch it, guys, because this guy going off as if this man was saying something.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. Season after season, year after year, the tides have come in and out of New York Harbor. Long before the name New York had ever been spoken, Lenape dugouts crossed these currents. It was on these waters that tall masts crested the horizon, captained by explorers like Verrazano and Hudson, after whom we've named our bridges and rivers. And ever since, ships full of travelers weary from long journeys have passed through the Narrows, the winds of the Atlantic at their backs. When those passengers lifted their heads to glimpse what lies just beyond the waves, what did they see? They saw land, lush and teeming with life. They saw men waiting at the docks to take them into bondage. They saw tenements rife with squalor. They saw industry rumbling with activity, steam and smoke rising, a city on the move. They saw a towering monument to freedom, her torch glowing worldwide welcome. They saw New York City. They saw America. Tomorrow, our nation marks 250 years since we declared our independence. 250 years of a grand experiment in self-governance, an experiment so audacious that some in 1776 doubted it would last more than a few years, let alone a quarter of a millennium. From Lexington to Los Angeles, Selma to Seneca Falls, Morrisania to Midwood, Americans will come together for a day, just as we do each year. Families will gather around the grill. Fireworks will fill the night sky. This will be no ordinary day of celebration. 250 years presents a rare opportunity for more than 340 million people to turn together, both towards one another and towards ourselves, to take measure of who we are as a nation. When we look at America, what do we see? Here at City Hall, as I sit behind George Washington's desk, alongside new Americans who came to this country, I cannot see all of America. But like so many who came before, I can see New York City. The city I see today looks very different than the one that greeted George Washington. In July of 1776, our city simmered under the yoke of oppression. The British had imposed a colonial rule so repressive that 250 years ago, 80 miles south, a small group of newspaper editors, farmers, and soldiers signed their names on a document declaring truths that feel self-evident now, but were revolutionary then, establishing the ideals our nation still strives to fulfill. The British did not take it well. War broke out. And that August, as the largest battle of the Revolutionary War unfolded in Brooklyn, batteries on Governor's Island took aim at British ships anchored just offshore. We were outgunned, we were outmanned, and we were soundly defeated. After only a few months, it appeared our fledgling attempt at democracy was on the precipice of collapse. But that night, with the moon overhead, thousands of our soldiers silently climbed into ferries and flat-bottom boats and escaped to Manhattan. The Continental Army survived to fight another day. Independence may have been declared in Philadelphia, but it was rescued in New York City. George Washington was the last to leave Brooklyn. As he waited at the river's edge, the sun beginning its rise, he would have looked out over New York City's waters and seen what so many have seen in the 250 years since: an opportunity to begin anew. Those opportunities, like everything in New York City, are not given. They are won. In 1838, 11 years after New York outlawed slavery, a recently emancipated black man by the name of James Weeks sought to begin anew as well, and to help hundreds of others do the same. He bought property in Brooklyn, won himself the right to vote, and sold lots to others newly freed. When they landed in New York Harbor, they knew they had...
Guys, I'm just going to be real with you. Is it me or am I waiting on the communism just like you are? Is it true? Is it me? I'm waiting for the communism and I'm not getting it yet. And we're like 4 minutes into a 13-minute speech. And I'm be real with you, this sounds pretty damn patriotic. I got to keep it real. Got to keep it real with you guys. And shout out to my man Noah Jordan. Said, do you think he realizes the desk is like that? Because him having the desk like that bothers the hell out of me, bro. Me too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm over here looking at the handles on the desk, like, bro, why is that handle? Why can I see that? Why can I see the handles on your desk? Why is it facing us? Actually, like, what it's. And now I'm too curious. Like, hold on, is it the same way on the other side? Is this a special desk or something? Like, what the fuck are we like? What are you doing, Zoran? But I get it. It does look like they just put this together last second. Like Zoran just woke up and just said, I have a speech. And they said, all right, bro, we got this backwards ass desk. We'll have some immigrants around you holding American flags, bro. We got you on the quick. And here we are.
Had something waiting for them.
Oh, and shout out to my man Noah Joyner, dog. Appreciate. Well, and all right, guys, let's go ahead and get right back to it with our guy Zoran Mamdani. And make sure you double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate his support.
That they had never had before, a home. Weeksville still stands today, a living, breathing testament to what we know America to be, a place each of us has the power to make. The harbor was busy those years as ships poured in from around the world. Hundreds of thousands of Irish immigrants arrived with stomachs aching from a famine manufactured by imperial cruelty. Chinese sailors settled in what is today Chinatown. Millions more traveled under the Statue of Liberty and through Ellis Island. Jewish people escaping pogroms, Italians fleeing poverty, Syrians seeking economic opportunity. Each of these new arrivals peered through portholes onto a city that was changing as fast as the nation. They saw merchants peddling their wares on the docks, streets being laid out on a grid, buildings rising into the clouds. They could not yet see the nativism they would face, the jobs they would be refused, the landlords who would not rent to them, and the abject labor and living conditions they would withstand. But no matter how much smog hung over the harbor, they still saw an opportunity to begin anew. Over the years that followed, despite laws enacted by the federal government to bar their entry, despite sweatshop fires that killed hundreds of women, despite riots aimed at their very existence, immigrants made homes here in New York City, and they helped to make New York City. That legacy of every generation of Americans insisting that the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness extends to them too, is no relic of the past. It carried millions of Black Americans north during the Great Migration. It drew hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans to New York City after the Second World War. It invited countless others from the West Indies and South Asia and West Africa and across the world. And it is what brought my family to this city when I was 7 years old. My family did not arrive by boat, although we saw the Statue of Liberty from the window of the plane. Even from the air, we could make out the promise of America, the promise of the beautiful patriotic work of rendering America, year after year, a little more faithful to its founding ideals. There is a term so often used to describe our nation and those who have shaped it: American exceptionalism. American exceptionalism, the conventional wisdom tells us, makes our freedom a little more free, is how we dug the Erie Canal and irrigated the West, is why children in faraway lands grow up dreaming of one day moving here. And yet the irony is that the story of America has so often been written by those who were told by others with power and influence and wealth that they were anything but exceptional. For generation after generation, we have been told that when the world has sent its people to our shores, it has not sent its best. It sent Puritans and Sikhs and Quakers and Muslims and Jewish people who were banished for praying the wrong way, worshiping the wrong gods, angering the wrong people. It sent peasants and serfs from slums and shtetls who were treated as less because they hardly owned clothes, let alone land. It sent immigrants from whom power was something someone else had. We are told that America is exceptional because we are richer, stronger, more powerful than everyone else. The truth, my friends, is that America is exceptional because here, nothing is fixed into place. The frontier may be closed, we may have walked on the moon, but the work of fulfilling the values first enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, that work endures, and it belongs to us all. It belongs too to our newest Americans, those standing here with me today, all of whom were recently naturalized. Nearly a decade ago, I too felt what you feel, the joy of no longer being just a New Yorker, but an American too. You each hold a special power, the power to determine what America means. The powerful have always known their answer. America, in their view, is an arena of supremacy, where only a select few are allowed freedom, where not all are created equal. America, if you ask them, becomes less the more people it welcomes. America, they will tell you, belongs only to those with the right accent or the right shade of skin. The rest of us, they insist, should be grateful for merely being allowed to visit.
Damn.
How small they are, how weak, how unoriginal.
Yeah, that is effed up. But I mean, let's be real. It is starting to turn into this whole white nationalist Christian thing where, oh, you're not really American if you weren't, descendant of whites. If you're not, oh yeah, of course, descendants of whites. If you're not Christian, if you're not this and that. I'm just like, guys, I'll be real with you. That whole idea was shattered as soon as we started allowing immigrants in and they start helping us build this country. Let's just be real here. That should have been shattered a long time ago.
At every moment in our past, those who led through exclusion and isolation have tried to win power and enrich themselves by turning us against one another. Division is the oldest trick in politics. Fair. And the cheapest.
I mean, no, let's be real. They do make you mad at the immigrants, make you mad at the Muslims, but who are the ones responsible for them being here? The elites, the government elites, the corporate elites, they're responsible for them being here at the end of the day. It's because of what they did to their country. Is either corporate elites went out and extorted their country or the government elites went out and bombed their country to a shithole country, as everybody likes to say, which I think is unfair to say since we're the ones who kind of effed it up, but it is what it is. And like I said, bro, this isn't to bash America, guys. Like I said, I love this country as much as the next person, but we do got to recognize our mistakes. And what he's saying, honestly, is not wrong. Let's just be real. You can sit here and disagree with his politics all you want. What he's saying is not wrong.
Time and again, including 250 years ago, those forces of division have been vanquished by the forces of progress. As Thomas Paine once wrote, "This new world hath been the asylum for the persecuted lovers of civil and religious liberty. Hither have they fled." And yet today, too many of our leaders do not believe in a vision of this nation as an asylum for the persecuted, but rather as one that persecutes those seeking asylum. As we mark 250 years,
In all fairness,
what do we see?
in all fairness, though, like, let's be real. The asylum system has been abused. That's why we had to revoke the TPS status of Syrians and Haitians, because it's been abused. And let's be real. Like, I've always been against immigration because overall, in the totality of it, it doesn't help the country that these immigrants are going to, and it doesn't help the country that these immigrants are coming from. So, well, I always do have that stance of let's help them in their country instead of just inviting them here and draining our resources. I mean, guys, it doesn't make any sense bringing them here and draining our resources, cramping up our job market when we can just help them in their country. And Loki, they'd be a better ally, a better economic ally to us than just letting them be a shithole country while we take away their best and brightest. I mean, let's be real. But since this is where we're at with it, since this is where we're at, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of effed up to bring these guys here thinking that they're gonna have a safe haven and be like, nope, you gotta go back to the gang lords that are pretty much cooking people in the middle of the street. And I'm talking about the Haitians, by the way.
We see a city of contradictions within a nation of contradictions. We see the wealthiest country in the history of the world, one where children go to sleep hungry while the world's first trillionaire hungers for more. We see monopolies that dominate every industry and oligarchs who buy elections. We see masked agents terrorizing our streets, eating food cooked by our undocumented neighbors before spiriting them away in unmarked vans.
Now, if that was the case, then that's just on those ICE officers. But let's be real, though. We can't sit there and take those crazy incidents of ICE officers and say those are all of the ICE officers. Just like we can't say that every bad police guy or every corrupt police, all right, well, then that means all police are bad. And I think that's what the Democrats kind of fell into. Is like you guys fell into just seeing all ICE officers as bad, but let's be real, that's not all of them. And I think you guys understand this, but you guys are running some type of propaganda campaign to get the president to, dwindle down his ICE enforcement. And it's not going to happen. I'm gonna be real with you. It really isn't. And to be quite honest, if you guys didn't allow the mess of immigrants to come in here, then you really wouldn't have to deal with this. And then also, if Biden would have solidified these people instead of just this flimsy TPS program that allows the president to deport them at his discretion, then we wouldn't be here as well. So a lot of this is because of y'all work with immigration. Let's understand this.
We see a nation whose immense wealth has been built by those with calloused, dirt-streaked hands, those who toil on factory floors and chisel into stone. And we see a nation that has allowed so much of that wealth to be held instead in the soft hands of a precious few. Yes, we see America in a health insurance industry that exploits the sick, but that is not all we see when we look for America. We see it too in the nurse who works a double shift and then stops on her way home to check on an ailing neighbor. Yes, we see America in corporate landlords for whom negligence is a business model. We see it too in the father who tucks his children into bed beneath a ceiling stained with leaks, who wakes before dawn to go to work and still believes his country can do better by his family. Yes, we see America when we spend our tax dollars on bombs and bailouts, when we sell our elections to the highest bidder. Yet we see it just as clearly in every American who still believes this country belongs to we, the people. We see America each time neighbors link arms with neighbors without asking how long they have lived here or what papers they have, as ICE invades our neighborhoods. We see America each time those young and old stand in the beating rain or the stifling heat to cast their ballots. We see America each time working people demand more, not just for themselves, but for their fellow Americans. There are some who respond to those who ask for more from America with a simple refrain: love it or leave it, they say. But patriotism has never been about pretending our nation is without flaws. Patriotism is every act of righteous dissent. It is every march led under the heavy sun. It is every protest held a decade before its time. It is precisely because we love this nation that we will not.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me being petty, but why is this lady over here holding down the flag like this? Like, everybody got their flag pointed up except for her. And lady, you doing this in the job right now is not a good look. Be like the other lady over here in the job and have that mug pointed up. I like her. I don't like you.
After all, Who loves America more than those who have sacrificed so much to make it free? Today, I think not only of the 4th of July, I think too of the 9th of July. 5 days after the Declaration of Independence was signed, it arrived here in our New York City. Redcoats had disembarked on Staten Island. More than 100 British ships loomed just offshore. Across this city, the Continental Army prepared for an invasion. George Washington commanded his brigades to assemble just a few feet from this building. It was known then as the Commons. Today, we call it City Hall Park. There, within range of British guns, Washington ordered his generals to read the Declaration aloud. And with the world's mightiest empire poised to attack, Washington told the people of New York City what we will celebrate tomorrow, that we had declared our independence, that freedom was within reach. That evening, danger loomed. Conflict was not a question, but a certainty. And yet when those early New Yorkers marched toward the statue of King George III that stood in the Bowling Green, a statue they would melt down into bullets for their young army, they walked in unison, grounded not in the pursuit of plunder, but in ideals that for the first time had a name: America. Those ideals upon which our nation